Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, let's get started. First of all, I want to apologize for the poor quality of the slides I put together. I did it last night. It just looks like a kindergartner did it, so you'll get the message when I go through it, all right? All right, so what I'm here today to tell you about Mega Camp. Who went to Mega Camp? See, Paul went to Mega Camp, Natalie went to Mega Camp, Connie went to Mega Camp. It was a great experience, and here's what happened at Mega Camp. So Chris Heller spoke to leadership and John Davis. KWR is 100% debt-free as a corporation. They have zero debt. 98% of the market centers are profitable. Wow. That's huge, 98%. As far as growth goes, NER's membership has increased 3%, where Keller Williams has increased 17%. So we're still growing, still growing. We're growing faster than the top 3 competitors combined. So that was their vision speech when they let off. So that's what they talked about. New websites are coming. So websites powered by WordPress. You guys are probably like, what's WordPress? It's a blogging platform. It is good.
Oh,
I love WordPress.
Yes.
That's all I use.
And how much of your business comes from the internet?
Half.
50% of his business, and he uses WordPress.
I love WordPress.
So success leaves clues, right? So do what everyone else is doing to get successful. And the IDX is going to be powered by Playster. So it's going to be WordPress, and the IDX will be powered by Playster, which is a new company, a fairly new company that has a website. Go ahead and play that video real quick, and we'll show you what Playster is.
Hey, Playster, and I'd like to talk to you about the benefits of using Playster's IDX solution. There are 2 things that make our IDX great. It's responsive, and it's completely customizable. When we talk about responsive design here at Playster, we don't just mean slapping a traditional IDX on top of a responsive theme. With Playster's IDX, the listing data and images automatically adapt to different screen sizes, ensuring visitors will always have a great search experience regardless of the device they're using. The most important point that I want you to take away is that Playster's IDX is fully customizable. You can customize which fields users can search with, as well as what listing information appears in search results and on property detail pages. For example, if you have a client in Colorado who wants to include proximity to ski areas in their search form, you can do that with Playster's IDX. The same goes for any number of market or niche-specific search criteria. If you have a client who has a great idea on how they're going to set themselves apart in their market, you'll know that when you're using Playster's IDX, you'll have a platform that's always going to allow you to say yes.
Okay.
Our philosophy, you shouldn't be selling the same tired.
That right there is big. It's huge. You can create niche searches. So you can create a search that says golf courses, pools, fireplaces, whatever, $1 million homes. When they go to that website, it's a $1 million home website. Everything shows up $1 million homes. You can create niche searches to market to niche consumers. Does that all make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Mobile responsive. Okay. So mobile and tablet responsive. So 50% of all searches in real estate during the week are from a mobile device. 50%. And that goes up to almost 90-something% during the weekend. So if you're not using your mobile app, if you don't have a mobile responsive design, you're behind the game. So you have your mobile app, right? Everybody has their mobile app ready to go? They're going? Okay, so you have a mobile app. They're also going to allow plugins. They're going to have a marketplace for plugins. Eric, can you tell us what plugins are for WordPress?
Yeah, plugins just like a little bit of software that you plug into your site that gives you some additional functionality that wasn't there before.
Like a newsletter or something like that?
Newsletter or sign on, follow me on email or whatever. Some little bit of functionality.
Yeah. It basically add options. So you add upgrades to your site. All right? Already said this right here, 50% of traffic is mobile, even higher on the weekends. Promote your KW app. Now, we have partnered with Homekeeper to provide an app for your clients. It's going to be branded and integrated with your KW mobile app. And here's what it does. And this is another free addition.
Do your clients know you're a local expert? Let them know with Homekeeper. an agent-branded app for your homeowner clients. HomeKeeper will help drive repeat and referral business by positioning you as a valued resource for local information and home maintenance. Let's see how it works. Simply invite your clients to download the app where we collect some basic information about their home. Things like, what type of home do you have? Is it warm or cold where you live? What type of heating and cooling systems do you have in place? We ask 10 questions, and based on the answers, we create a customized home maintenance checklist, things they should do to take care of their home. For instance, we recommend pest inspection in August and a gutter cleaning in September. As part of each task, we include a quick description as to why the homeowner should perform the task, as well as recommend local service providers in the area who can take care of the job for them. Where do these local service providers come from? Well, they're yours, the agents. Prior to inviting any of your clients, you upload your preferred vendor directory. This is a directory that you're now gifting to your clients that they can use for routine maintenance as well as for emergencies. You can even add your favorite local businesses, recommend anything from restaurants to hair salons. Click on any category and they'll see your list of preferred vendors within that category, as well as contact details, to make it easy for your clients to schedule service with that vendor. At the bottom is a very easy way for your clients to get back in touch with you.
You guys think that's neat?
Yeah, very cool.
That's another touch that you can have for free. So when you set it up, your vendors you set up in there, they get reminded, okay, it's time to get your AC service, it's time to get your heater service, all that sort of thing. So that we're already working on when we're Mega Camp. I emailed Kirsten, she's already got our vendor list set up there, so we should be rolling that out here over the next couple of weeks. And it will be integrated with your KW mobile app, all right? So there'll need to be another button in there. All right, next. List Hub Pro. While I was there, we signed up for this as well. This, you guys know what List Hub is? Syndicates listings.
Yes.
So this provides more information right here. This gives you property reports, gives you where all the syndication, like you can create this with your photos there, so when you go on your listing appointments, you see where all these properties are syndicated. But it goes even further. Go ahead and click that video.
The List Hub seller reports and listing presentation flyers are critical tools to showcase your comprehensive online marketing program and the results of your efforts. The seller report is a powerful way to demonstrate value to your seller clients. This report shows the comprehensive traffic that the listing is receiving across real estate industry websites and other publisher websites. It also answers a key question for your sellers. How is my listing performing online compared to similar properties in the market? With ListHub's Market Comparison Seller Report, you can share a more complete story about how your client's listing is performing online compared to properties within a similar price range and zip code. If the report shows that the listing is performing as well or better than 70% of the market, kudos! Share that information with your seller client to start the conversation about what you've been doing to market the property. You can also use this report as a tool to have those more difficult conversations with your clients. What if the listing has been on the market for 11 weeks with no price change and little interest from potential buyers? Perhaps it's time to talk price reduction. Use the report to make professional recommendations to your clients based on real data. The Market Comparison Report is a great communication tool to build a relationship with your client and demonstrate your expertise while providing customized advice.
Is that something you guys have used? Yeah. Some of you are a little confused, like what is that really? That's basically gives you data. It tells you where you're at, like who's giving you the most leads. Is it Trulia? It also gives you insight on where to spend your advertising money. If you're getting all these leads from Trulia, then maybe you want to boost your advertising dollar in Trulia. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All right, that's another free thing for you guys. We'll be rolling in a couple of weeks. It's already set up. We've got to do some little tweaking, but that's available for you guys. Next, KWU. Now I sent out a survey, and I sent it out again today. Some of you took it, 58 of you. So if you haven't taken that survey, please take it again. But one of the things was more training, different training. Well, we have 27 new courses that we're going to launch here, 27 new courses. Here's just a few of them. Solo agent to solo first assistant, level 4. Budget is not a 4-letter word. Seal the deal by negotiating a win. Win with buyer every time. These are all based off of family reunion breakout sessions. So these are going to be rolled out next month. We're going to start these courses next month. So more education. All right? And social media. If you're not on social media, I mean, we're going to have a course next month as well on Facebook, Facebook pages, Google Plus pages, if you're not on social media, you're losing, you could be losing a lot of money. You could be making a lot of money if you get on social media, if you do it correctly. So who uses social media to market their property and listings? Now, do you guys post the listings? It just listed, just sold, just listed. Do you guys do that? How many times have you sold a listing off of your just listed, or here's this, look at this house? How many times have you sold a listing off of that? Anybody sell it once? Once, okay. So social media like Facebook, if you start posting that, basically it's like spam, right? Posting, here's my listing, here's my listing, here's my listing. What Facebook is for is building relationships, getting into a relationship with potential buyers and sellers. What Facebook allows you to do is talk to a specific audience. So for example, your dream seller. What would be a dream seller for you? They're ready to go, they have to move, they've already been looking. So you can target those buyers and sellers using campaign ads in Facebook. If anybody is engaged, you can target that engaged couple and say, hey, she said yes. Home, big wedding. Why not do both? Then you have an article there that they can subscribe to, and you start touching them that way. Divorce, separated, it's complicated. You can target those as well. Yeah. Yes. They're going to sell their house. They could sell their house. So you can target. The point is, renters. You can target renters. You target the renters. You target the income brackets. You target people who have been looking to search or looking to buy homes or sell homes. You target investors. So you can spend your advertising money on campaigns that are very specific. Does that make sense? And we're going to be teaching that next month. Same thing with Google Ads. Same thing. All right. Disruption. They kept saying disruption, disruption, disruption. That was the theme of MegaCamp. And basically what that meant was be different. Do something that nobody else has done. Be contrarian. Challenge the status quo. Think big. I mean, we have teams, there was teams there that are operating in multiple states through expansion. Do you guys know what expansion is? ESO? Expansion Systems Orientation. Okay, Keller Williams allows you to basically franchise yourself. So you establish a hub and you can go to different territories and build teams in different territories. So your income potential is unlimited by where you can grow your company. So you can be the Kevin Blain team in here and in Pismo and in Idaho, wherever. You can expand. So we have teams, there was teams there that had like 100 expansion locations. It's amazing what they're doing. Who's on? Did anybody see the panel there? Any of the agents that went? Did you see that?
Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, it just opened up, I think all of us who heard it, opened our thinking to, oh my gosh, this thing is unlimited. And Gary Keller said they're creating a whole nother kind of red book for the expansion teams because they realize that this is happening and they've got to get ahead of it. And so it's like a whole new model for people who want to embrace it. So it was really, really amazing.
That reminds me that there's a new red book coming out too pretty soon. MREA 2, by the way.
They say when? When?
No, they didn't say when. They never tell you when, they say soon. So culture, they asked us basically to stop giving KW Cares money. They have $10 million already in the bank. They said, focus locally. If you build your fund, build it locally. So we're going to start focusing on our local KW Cares fund so we can use it locally. So that's what we're going to start doing. We're going to meet the culture committee meeting tomorrow, so we'll talk about that. But they've raised $10 million. It's crazy. It was baffling. She said, don't send us any more money. She said, you start your own local fund. All right. Business agent was used quite a bit. Not a sales agent, business agent. Run it like a business. Lead with revenue. Know your numbers. Track lead sources. Tracking your lead sources where you spend your money to get leads to see if it's worth spending money to get leads. If you're throwing money at something and you don't know if it's giving you return on investment, you're just throwing money away. It could be very, very costly or it could be very profitable, but if you don't track those numbers, you don't know. Run like a business. Another thing is they recommended to start an entity, S Corp, LLC, or a partnership, get that set up. Start thinking like a business person, start running it like a business. Talk to your accountant, see what's best for you, but you can do that, and we have the ability to pay companies out of our Winmore systems. They can go to, 1, 2, 3 main investments, whatever. So we have the ability to do that. And maybe if you talk to your accountant, it may be more beneficial to you during the tax season. All right? Shiny objects. I showed you a bunch of shiny objects, right? There's a bunch of shiny objects. Does it save you time? Does it make you money? Does it streamline your systems? Those are the things. Those are the things you need to look at. Because everybody's, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this. But one thing is always true is, okay, hold on, let me go back to this. Lead generation. That should always be part of where your time is spent. Master one, add after. So if you haven't mastered one form of lead generation, do that first. Then you can add the 3 levers of lead generation, which could be one could be cold calling, one could be door knocking, one could be social media. So master one and then build upon that. Get one down. Or if you're in a team, you can maybe have 2 or 3 going at the same time, but you have to master one, because that answers all. Well, that doesn't answer. That solves all problems. If you lead generate, that's going to solve all your money problems. That's going to solve all your staff problems. That's going to solve every problem. Lead generate, lead generate, lead generate. All right. Now, also I talked about land voice a little bit. Land voice will be sending out information. You can send them a list of your phone numbers or your addresses, and they will send you back a list of cell numbers for 50 cents per address. Now, how you can utilize this, for those of you who use Michael Lewis or Cole Realty Resource, they already do a bullseye circle, right? They already do like that address list. So after your property sells, you send them that list, land voice. After it closes, then you have all their cell phone numbers, and then you have that neighborhood, and you're calling that neighborhood. I just sold a home in your neighborhood. Would you like to meet? I can tell you what your home's worth. And you continue to touch them until you get them from out of your Mets or your have-not-Mets into your Mets. So we'll be sending that information out as well.
Jason?
Yes.
So you're saying the land voice, it gives you the cell number, not the landline?
Correct.
Because a lot of people don't even have landlines.
Correct.
Okay.
All right. Any questions? Websites, they said first quarter of 2016 will be released, the websites and the new websites. So they're working on, they have some beta testers and all that. So nobody has any questions at all? No? All right. You guys are quiet. Well, we have a potluck today, so after the meeting, go over there and eat to thank Main Street Escrow. Thirsty Thursday tomorrow night, Crawdaddies. Guess we got lazy with it. We just want to walk across the street. We don't want to go anywhere else. It's okay.
Easier to park that way.
Yeah. All right, upcoming calendar, potluck. We have the monthly meetings, weekend time blocking and calendaring on Monday, and bold step 3. Who's in bold? Wow.
Hi-ya!
Who wants to share? Who wants to share something that really resonated with him?
Adrian does.
Adrian? Is it yeah?
Singing for days.
No, just yeah, thanks. No, it's just about like there's just so many aspects of it. I feel like I don't even touch in this business, and how much more room I can grow. So I mean, just like expireds and all these other ways, and like land voice and all these other so many ways. And I think there's just trying to find my niche. I think is what this is really helping me do, find out what I'm good at, so I can focus on it.
Good. It's a great thing. I mean, some teams, in order to be on a team, they're required to attend Bold. That's the ultimate training right there. That's leverage training. You can say, you have to go to Bold, and then I'll consider you being on my team. That's the ultimate training right there, because that's going to help establish the habits of lead generation right there. All right? Realtor Night Out at the Park, September 3rd, KW Cares fundraiser. September 9th, September 27th, family picnic at Blain Park. And October 21st, business planning clinic with Ryan Seacrest. Not the Ryan Seacrest, but a Ryan Seacrest, who's actually quite handsome as well. All right, welcome Vince Hernandez. Is Vince here? No? Jeff Newton. Welcome, Jeff. John Montez. And I believe his brother Eric Montez. So, without further ado, Mr. Troy Guy, will you come up and do your thing?
Woo! Thank you for the applause up here.
Yes.
Well, very good. I kind of came across something kind of interesting recently. I listed a house with 9 siblings that are fighting, and literally, yeah. So it made me think of all of you that you might run across the same situation. What you need to do, because they don't want to be in the same room as each other. There's really 2 camps. And they don't want to be in the same room as each other. They've all agreed that they're going to sell the house. But, so I met with each camp, and okay, we're going to get the house sold. But how do you do that? You've got 9 people on title that need to sign. So if you have multiple people on title, you have to have a multiple signer page for each item. Does that make sense? For a listing agreement, then you can have a multiple signer page. That way, one camp can sign the listing agreement, the other camp can sign the multiple signer page. Then we get an offer, and we counter offer, and we have to have a multiple signer page for the counter offer and a multiple signer page for the offer that we received that we're countering. Does that make sense? Okay, that way you get everybody signing. They don't all have to be in the same the same room at the same time. They don't, you don't have to drive around to 9 different people. You can go sign this. This is the offer. I did have to run 9 copies. Christy had to run 9 copies of the offer and the counter offer and everything, so everyone would agree. But this way, we get everybody to agree, head in the same direction. Now, along these same lines, this is different, but there's a representative capacity. It is in the new contract. It is under 19, sorry. Under 19, it's a representative capacity. If one or more parties is signing the agreement in a representative capacity and not for himself or herself as an individual, then that party shall also indicate in paragraph 31 or 32 and attach a representative capacity signature. If they're a trustee, something of that nature, an executor, then you need to indicate that on the contract. We shouldn't be, and then you need to have this form. The representative capacity, it's the RCSD, representative capacity form, right, that they fill out, that's attached. You put it in paragraph 31. We don't really want to get to the end of a contract that's accepted and have you write so-and-so's signature signed on there in capacity as trustee or something underneath it. Okay, that what we need to have is we need to have the RCSD, and it needs to be indicated in paragraph 31 and 32 of the contract. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Now I know you're like, okay, I'm not dealing with this right now. It will pop up. Just remember that there's forms for additional signers and there's forms for trustees.
And that covers LLCs, corporations.
Right.
Those 2.
So if a corporation owns the house and they're selling it, then you need to indicate that on paragraph 31 and 32. And then you need to have the RCSD.
Would that apply as an individual that's selling their home and their home's in a trust?
Yes. If the home's held in the trust, then it needs to be indicated there, and the RCSD needs to be filled out. Okay, last thing, I'm just going to mention this real quick because I mentioned it about a year ago, and we're not running across it as often, but if you're showing an investor short sale property or distressed property that a notice of default has been filed on, you must, and it's owner occupied, you must fill out the NOD RPA, Notice of Default Residential Purchase Agreement. Okay, does that make sense? It's those 3 things. It's an investor, owner occupied, and notice of default has been filed. So just keep that in the back of your head. If you're showing investors, let that be your trigger. If I'm showing investors and I go into a house and it's in disarray, it's a short sale, we still do have a few of those out there, and so the people are still living in the house, but they're in distress. Just remember, it's a different RPA. We need the NOD RPA. It's just 2 additional pages. It lets the buyer out if they were to recover from the distressed property. If they were to be able to recover it. But what it does is it protects your client from a $100,000 fine and 1 year in jail. which they get ticked when you do that. Okay, but they're serious about it. So if you're showing an investor, just remember that. If you go into an empty property, then it's off. You don't need to worry about it. Okay, or if it's tenant occupied, it's off. You don't need to worry about it. It's an owner occupied investor. Okay.
So,
All right.
so
Yes.
for clarity,
Yes.
anytime you run a property profile and it says so-and-so trust, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, trustee, you need to file that, you need to print that up?
Yeah. Have that in your file. You want them to sign that we're not on the NODRPA anymore. For those of you following it from home. The RCSD, you need to have that in your file. Yeah, you're right. If the title search comes back and it shows an LLC or a trust, then put this in your file and have them sign that.
And then there's
And then in the contract, right.
You have to check that box.
Right. In the contract, if the buyer needs to check that box if they're buying it as an LLC or a
I
trust.
actually don't think there is a box. I think it's just,
Clarity.
I think it's just written in there.
It's right
It- well,
above
it
where the
says-
seller signs, there's a
You have
box.
to- Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Signing it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Very good. Any other questions? You guys ready to go fight sell? You guys ready to be bold? All right.
All right. Thank you,
Good.
Troy. Susan, you're up. Let's welcome Susan. First American.
Troy, I was kind of thinking that you should get 6% for your listing and then like extra percentage points for the siblings. So like nice siblings, yeah,
That's
9%.
what they're thinking. too.
Surcharge. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, sibling
Yeah.
surcharge.
There you go.
I'm kind of thinking maybe 9% might not be enough either
No.
though. Anyway, good morning everybody, so good to see you all. I always want to have a tip of the day for you, and actually have two tips today. The first one is when you order seller's coverage, know that there isn't a value plus for seller's coverage, which is basic, air, and upgrade. You have to order those kind of piecemeal. And I had two problems in this past week with Visalia agents who ordered seller's coverage. One of the problems is they had escrow ordered for them and just said, order seller's coverage for me. Escrow ordered basic coverage only. In both of these cases, they then had the home inspection done, found problems with the AC in it, and there was no AC coverage because they never ordered the seller's coverage for the AC. So tip of the day, seller's coverage should include basic and air and upgrade, okay? Second tip is upgrade. Make sure you always order upgrade. Just want to share a story. I have an agent. You can always order warranty as agents on your own properties, whether it's your personal residence, rentals of yours, etc. As I mentioned, probably I think it's been 2 months ago now, we have a program called Consumer Direct for that. Instead of the real estate pricing of Value Plus being $390, it's $402 for an agent, so it's only $12 more.
And you can add it to the Homekeeper app, so when the warranty's going to expire, you can
There
have
you
it
go.
right there.
Exactly, perfect, absolutely, absolutely. So I had an agent who called me, said, I want a warranty for my rental, and she said, I want to order just basic coverage. And I said, well, no, you don't want basic coverage, you want basic and air and upgrade. It's going to be $402, that's what I'm going to order for you. Okay, fine, Susan, that's great. So I ordered it, she got a billing for it, because I order these warranties, they have to call in with a credit card to pay for it. So she did that. Several weeks passes by, tenant calls, air conditioning didn't go on that morning. This is about 2.5 weeks ago now. Just the worst possible time, miserable heat. So technician goes out, says you need a new unit. In comes some non-covered expenses, and it sounded a little high to me. So I looked it up, and they said, well, she doesn't have the upgrade. I said, well, she absolutely has the upgrade. I ordered it myself. I know that it was equivalent to Value Plus. It has the upgrade. She called in to save $48. She took it off. I wanted to kill her. And I told her that too. I said, why did you do this? Her $48 cost her $1,025 in non-covered charges.
Expensive lesson.
Expensive lesson to be learned.
So learn from that.
Yes,
Yeah.
because what the upgrade adds in when you replace a unit is it pays to haul away the old unit, and there's costs involved because it's not just the materials the unit is made of and the landfill it's going to go in, but there's freon that has to be recaptured out of the unit, properly disposed of because of the EPA. It covers the cost of the permit, crane for the roof, up to $250 worth of code compliance issues. And in her case, those four things totaled $1,025. I just didn't understand. I said, you need to listen to me. So my message to all of you today is listen to me. Is it? I deal with problems day in and day out, and it's my business. You just really have to have the upgrade on every order, every time, whether it's seller's coverage or buyer's coverage, and always make sure you include air conditioning, even if it's a swamp cooler, okay? Questions? Yes?
So I listened to you and contacted you to order the seller's coverage on the short sale property I have prior to the home inspection. We ordered that one day. The next day we had the home inspection. The air conditioning was not working. We had the AC company come out. The guy, right as he walks through the door, says, "Your claim's been flagged because you ordered this coverage and then you're calling us the next day." And I said, "Well, this is how it was explained to us to order it this way." And he says, "Have you read the policy?" And I said, "Of course not. I haven't read the policy because this is not the way this policy is supposed to work. This is a pre-existing condition that we don't cover." And he went on to fix it, and but complained and griped about it the whole time. I mentioned your name, and he complained and griped that I mentioned your name, and says agents do that all the time. They're not supposed to be doing this.
He doesn't realize we cover unknown conditions, and because it was found after you put the coverage in place, it falls under the unknown condition category.
Okay.
And so he obviously doesn't know that.
Which one was it?
That we do in fact cover pre-existing conditions as long as you don't know about it.
And then the
That's the whole
inspector-
point of putting the warranty on seller's coverage and then having your home inspection done before you know.
The home inspector went on to say that the heater, the furnace in the attic was improperly installed. It butted up against a roof truss and should not be put there like that. It should be, the whole thing should be disassembled, moved over, and completely reconnected. I told him that. The AC guy said, "Well, it passed the original inspection. It passed the final, so it's good. It works fine. We're not going to do anything with it."
And you know, when you're dealing with how something is installed or codes, what really matters is, did it meet the inspection requirements or the code of the day?
Well, this house is 4 years old.
Okay, and who knows, maybe it did, maybe it didn't. In that situation, of course, the older it is, obviously we know that the way that things are done might be differently today. That's the thing that's significant there. When a home inspector finds something, was this never up to code and as a blatant health and safety violation, or it was up to code for the day 12 years ago or 20 years ago or whenever it was done, and now if we were to install it, would be done differently. In that case, it sounds like maybe it passed inspection 4 years ago, but probably shouldn't have passed inspection. You know, one of those kinds of things. That's what it sounds like.
So bottom line is, listen to Susan. That's the
Yeah,
bottom line.
there you go, there you go,
All
there
right.
you go. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Central Love Mortgage, come on up, Cindy. Let's welcome Cindy.
Good morning. When I was deciding what to talk about today, there were so many different things and changes and things happening that I couldn't pick one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just briefly, smallly touch on several different things. The first thing is guideline changes that are happening and coming up. This package right here is just FHA changes. Some of them are very significant. A couple of them, if you have pre-qualified buyers right now who have deferred student loans up until September 14th of this year, we don't have to count deferred payments in ratios as long as they're deferred more than 12 months beyond their first payment. That's not going to be the case anymore after September. We have to find a payment that will be in the future and count that in ratios. That's huge. Can be huge for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 student loans. And this is FHA. These ones are FHA. Gaps in employment. Before, if you had a 6-month or more gap, you had to explain it, and then you say they were on the job for 6 months, you had to go back 18 months before that and get a 24-month work history. No longer, starting September 14th. They have to now be on the job for 6 months. Now this is if they had a 6-month gap in employment. They have to be back to work for 6 months. And then you have to go before the gap and go back a full 24 months. So if you add all those pieces up, you're looking for 3 years back that we have to look, starting in September. So there's some significant changes that are happening in FHA, usually most of them making things harder to qualify. Conventional Fannie Mae on the other side has released some guidelines that are kind of making things a little bit easier. One of them that has been discussed kind of around about on and off was the converting your primary residence to a rental. They had put all those overlays on previously when people were buying something new and then letting go, you know, counting rent and then letting it go. We had to have 30% equity. That's going away. Yay! starting, and we were waiting for investor overlays. Just because FHA says something one way and conventional says something, or Fannie Mae says this, that doesn't mean that the investors don't have their own rules that lay on top. What we were doing is waiting to find out the investor overlays on that one converting your primary to a rental, no overlays so far that we've seen. So that's a big one. And on conventional side, also 2106 expenses. Unless you're a commission individual, 2106 expenses are basically not going to have to be looked at anymore. We treat it differently for commissioned individuals. So those are guideline changes. There are a lot happening in September. So just FYI, buyers that you have looking now, they need to be relooked at if certain conditions. The second thing I wanted to touch on was the one that has been hounded, I'm sure, that's coming up October 3rd, is the regulation changes on how we as lenders have to treat loans. The biggest thing for me that I've been wrestling with in my mind is pre-qualing, giving a solid pre-qual. When I can't ask a buyer for their tax returns anymore, and I can only take verbal information, okay? And I've kind of gone over, in my mind, how can I let you as agents know whether or not I have actually seen the information or just had a discussion about the information. So I've been playing with my pre-qual letters, and I only have 15 that I printed out, but as a sample, what I've done is I've added check marks. And I'm starting this now. When I give a pre-qual letter for a buyer, I'm going to actually check mark that I've seen the taxes, that I've seen the pay stubs, that I've checked their ratios, that I've seen this. If there's no check marks on there, or if a check mark is missing, you as a buyer's agent need to go back to your buyer and say, hey, no, this isn't going to work for a listing agent. You need to take your loan officer these items so that she can see them, okay? I'm hoping that it's going to loosen up as we go on, but right now we can't ask, beginning October 3rd, we can't ask a buyer, even if I tried to word it, well, I can't ask for it, but you can volunteer it. I can't say those things. I can't even word it in a roundabout way. So we're going to rely on you guys, and I'm working on, trying to make it as easy as possible on you. And I think as I meet with somebody and they walk out my door, if I haven't seen these things, I'm going to hand this to them. And I'm going to send it directly to the referring agent so they can see immediately these boxes are not checkmarked. And so you can go to them and say, it's not, this isn't going to work for a listing agent when we make an offer. Yes?
So
can you put a smiley face instead and a frowny face? Sorry, Christy.
we as agents, though, when we get a pre-qual from an agent, we can say, yeah, we're not going to consider that a pre-qual.
Oh, absolutely.
We can ask that loan officer, have you seen their tax return?
The rules apply to loan officers and lenders, not you guys.
But I mean, if we want to really accept that pre-qual, we can call that lender and say, have you seen the tax returns? Or
if the lender is not being proactive and letting you know, then yeah, you guys can call and ask, okay, how valid is this pre-qual letter?
So a buyer's agent can suggest that their client take that
Absolutely,
information.
buyer's agent can be very specific. And I'm working on, for my agents, I'm working on a checklist that you as an agent can directly hand. When you meet with your LO, you need to take these things, and kind of thing. So super important. Just be diligent. After October 3rd, when you get a pre-qual letter as a loan, as either buyer's or listing agent, that you're paying attention or asking the question, have these things been seen?
And who's the brilliant agency that's not allowing lenders to ask for documentation?
Exactly.
It's
CFPB.
yeah.
CFPB.
Yeah.
Consumer Financial
And thanks to
Protection.
Dodd-Frank. This is all the implementation of Dodd-Frank going way back. This is the
Maybe it
creation.
shouldn't be called a pre-qual letter anymore. Yeah, maybe there should be a different name, there should be two.
Maybe
should be. Yeah.
Cindy,
When hell freezes over.
Well, I meant, it's not technically a pre-qual letter,
I've
if
seen
they
your
don't
face
have
now.
everything.
Yeah.
We have a question. Anybody have a question?
Cindy, when can you ask for that legally?
When there is an
After October
actual
3rd.
application that exists, and there are 6 things that, and I'm working on this flow chart, there are 6 things that exist when an actual application exists. Name, social security number, income amount, loan amount, property address is the 5th, and I can't remember the 6th, but all 6 property address. I cannot ask for tax returns specifically from a buyer until a property address exists. An application doesn't technically exist. Now that's not new, that's been in place. The 6 items have been in place all along, and we could do pre-quals because the property address didn't exist, but I could ask for the information. Now the way it's going to be is those 6 items have to exist and a letter of intent, LE, a loan estimate has to be created within 3 days of that information, all 6 pieces being given to us. Once that loan estimate goes out, the buyer then has up to 10 days to relay back to their loan officer their intent to proceed. I can't take money, order appraisal, move forward, do anything until I get an intent to proceed. So that's actually, in essence, can be up to 13 days into a contract before I know whether we're moving forward or not, and can ask for tax returns.
So,
If we're a listing agent, not the buyer's agent, we're a listing agent, and we say we want a DU, not just the letter, then you would have to have all of those items, right?
No, we can do a DU on a to be determined. So I don't have to have a property address to do a DU.
But
I
you would
will
need
have
taxes, right? You would need all of that.
Garbage in, garbage out. They tell me verbally what their income is. Have I really verified it? A lot of buyers don't understand how we calculate income, that it's gross, not net, what gets deducted, all those kind of things. If I'm having to rely on verbally what is being told to me.
Okay. I thought you guys couldn't do a DU without having all the documentation.
No, you can't do a DUI.
You can do a DU on a to be determined. We do it all the time. Run them up front. If there's anything I'm questioning that, there's something on the credit or that I do it all the time, ahead of time.
Can we request to have a DU instead of
Again, as a loan officer, and I know agents like to ask for DUs, but as a loan officer, to me it's garbage in, garbage out. I can manipulate the DU to get the approval, whether it's the actual information that exists or not. That would be whether you're the relationship that you have with your loan officer.
So to prevent all these issues you're talking about, the clients have to keep their jobs, pay off their student loans, and you tell them to bring all the documents they need right up front, right?
That was my question. Is if me as a buyer approaching you, what do you need from me? I want to get approved for a loan.
Well, in the training I went through, I have a specific question. Can I still ask the questions? Right now, when I make an initial contact with a buyer, there's 3 things that I ask for. I don't want to waste anybody's time. There's 3 things. I ask for their job history. I want to know right up front, do they have a 2-year work history? Credit, how's your credit in general? People really know whether it's good or bad. And then if they, well, not so good, okay, what's not so good? And when I'm asking about job, I'm asking what, it depends on the answers that I'm getting. I can get as specific as what is your hourly rate? How many hours a week do you work? There's certain specifics that I can ask, but I can't ask them to prove it anymore. Starting October 3rd. But you guys can.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Cindy. Very, very good. All right. You guys say happy birthday to Gene. Gene Chester's birthday is on the 27th. And John Montez is on the 29th. Needs, wants, bucket fillers. Bucket fillers, anyone? Filling buckets? Yes.
Main Street escrow, they did such a great job for Mike Jeffus and I on a property that we were dealing with, that we had to jump through all kinds of hoops, and they made it happen. And thank you.
All right.
I want to fill Susan's bucket. This is long past due, but she's helped me many a times when my clients have had questions on their warranties, and she's really helped me out a lot. So
good.
Thank you. And I do have a question afterwards, so don't leave. But thank you very much.
All right. Natalie?
Oh, I have all of the buckets of everybody who went to Mega Camp. So everybody was so nice. Felt like the new kid, because I still am one of the 100 new kids that we have here. But you and Carly set everything up for us and took care of us, and Kirsten was taking care of us remotely, and then Larry was like my tour guide buddy, telling you all about Keller Williams. So he just went above and beyond it because we all went at different times. Tuesday, Wednesday, everybody's flights got in at different times. So we were all staying in different places. So he was super helpful during the convention, and I just really appreciate it.
All right.
I want to fill Raina, Connie, and Stephanie Wright's bucket. While I was having and recovering from surgery, they helped roll escrow through and open doors and took care of things and helped me out. So I just want to fill their bucket.
Larry?
And I want to fill Susan's bucket also. A couple of weeks ago, I had a client that had an air conditioner that went out. They had their home warranty. There were some issues with the repair, but first thing Monday morning, I emailed Susan and gave her the information. By the end of the day, the air conditioner was repaired.
Wow.
I had a conversation with them that evening, and I'm the one that looked like a hero. She's the one that did it.
Susan, do you ever sleep? Do you ever sleep?
You know what? I don't think I actually have slept since the heat hit.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else? Bucket fillers, needs, wants. Danny?
I have one more for
Okay.
Jonathan. He's been very helpful on the listings that I've had of calling and sending his clients that way and then calling his buyers and seeing if they're interested. So I really appreciate your team's support on the listings that I've had. Thank you.
All right. More? All right, well, let's go eat. Wait, Veronica?
True story, I just want to feedback on that. Jonathan's been great. He's been on time. I want to fill his bucket, because he is, lead generating is the bread and butter of our business. So I want to encourage everyone, even myself, to work on that. But attending Bold for the second year round, and it's really helping our business. So keep lead generating and calling around the listings. We love calling around your listings because we know that they're in good condition, good people to work with. So thank you so much for that.